Death Watch.
Welcome back. So last time we were playing, Fenrith, Casimir, and Rohan had fought a black dragon and some other assorted enemies, and they had emerged victorious, killing the dragon. There are still a couple enemies remaining. A halfling whose warg was killed, shot out from under it by Rohan. At least that's what you can see now. But the dragon is dead, and Graham had found himself at a sort of an interesting magical crossroads while being swept along through what felt like a dark river. He was given a choice of two places he could end up at, and the choice he made led him to a troll who was thumping goblin skulls open and eating their brains and poring over a book. And Graham felt determined beyond anything to retrieve that book, and he was successful in doing so. So a swarm of bats had provided the necessary distraction for him to grab that book, and then the troll, driven mad by the bats, had jumped off of the cliff down into the depths below, leaving Graham alone on the other side of a rope bridge, where he finally had the thought, why did I want this book so badly? And so that's where we'll start, Graham, with you. Let me share this map with you. There you are. So you've made it to the other side of this rope bridge, and now you're looking at, you could go north or south. What do you do? So you have this book in your hands that you snagged from that troll. Just at a glance, you can see an intricate, spidery, magical looking script.
Okay, so what has occurred to me since I'm now no longer completely obsessed with this book is, although I didn't state it, I must have had to drop that bag of holding I had received in the session previous in order to take the actions I took. So that realization sort of dawns on me because it had more magic items in it and some books, things that I was going to gift to my companions, gifts from Graham's holiday here. So I'm debating on whether or not I should go back and get that. So I kind of want to, or I don't kind of, I do want to go back to my side of that bridge and see what's going on over there now.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. We'll move you over there. So you see the corpses of the goblins, and then you still see the huddled, there's 4 other goblins huddled up on this outcropping here where they're sort of clustered together and looking terrified to move.
How do they respond to me? I think I have my dagger light back on now, unless there was... Did the troll take the light source with him when he plunged into the chasm?
No, there was a lantern up on this table that's providing light.
Okay, so maybe I don't. Well, I marked where I believe that I would have had to drop it, because that's where I started to throw my dagger and such, and then I was tumbling and so forth. And carrying that bag, I would have been above the weight limit to tumble.
I got you. Okay. So as you look at these goblins, what it seems to you like they don't even really register you. They're so terrified that they're in shock. So they're not really reacting to you. But you do see your bag on the ground over there.
Hey, goblins, it's okay now. He went down the chasm. I'll just give a half-hearted attempt. If they still don't respond, then I'll go pick up my bag and put the Book of Evil in it.
Okay.
The other items.
All right.
And then continue back across that bridge.
Okay. Yeah, they don't respond to you at all. So you make your way back over here.
And I believe I like the north way. So I'll make sure I have my dagger light going, and then I'll just start moving silently along the west wall.
All right. So you come to a fissure in the ground, but then you see a tunnel beyond it that leads into the darkness.
Is there a way to circumvent the fissure, or does it run totally across the cavern floor?
No, you could. Can you not see the map?
I can.
Okay, yeah. So you could over here.
Okay.
You could skirt around it.
What are these statues of?
Yeah. So as you move closer, you can see this entrance to this tunnel, and then you have two massive stone dwarf statues standing guard on either side that look incredibly ancient.
How much do these ones look like the ones we saw ages ago?
Pretty much that's what they
Same.
look like, yeah.
Hmm.
Heavily armored dwarves. Just obviously much taller than real dwarves.
Well, I'll pause and look them over for a moment, and then I'll check the choke point for traps and then enter that tunnel.
Okay. All right. So you don't detect any traps.
Here goes nothing. Or actually, what is the description of the tunnel? Does it appear to be going up or down, or just continuing on flat?
No, down.
Uh-oh. I'm trying to get back up. So I'll actually go backtrack and take a look at the south path.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so you turn around and you make your way back down there. And what you see past that fissure is you got a lot of mushrooms growing here and some odd vines that extrude from the stone wall and lay across the ground. And then you can barely make out a skeleton on the ground up ahead.
A skeleton's not a good sign for edible mushrooms, but I threw my rations away so long ago. Can I try a survival check?
Yeah.
+1. Nice.
All right.
See if there's anything edible to gather from that area.
Okay. There are edible, safe mushrooms mixed in with these. You recognize one that you know is safe, 3 types that you know are dangerous, and then 2 types that you don't know for sure one way or another.
Well, I'll take some of the edible ones, and if there's enough, I'll eat some now and store some for later.
Mm-hmm.
But very importantly, I will gather some of the dangerous ones after I finish messing with the edible ones. I don't know, maybe I can use them for some nefarious purpose
Okay.
later on.
Yeah.
I'll put those dangerous ones in the bag of holding.
All right.
I'll throw a handful of dirt in there too if it can be scraped up.
Dang it.
Yeah.
And a rock.
Okay.
And I'll go take a closer look at that skeleton. But I'll pause. I'll actually proceed cautiously and look around for any traps
All right.
as I go.
Okay. So you move over to here and you're keeping your eye out for traps. You don't find any. And now you are close to these skeletons. You see there's more than one. There's like a pile of them. And then they're surrounded by really big mushrooms, like as big as you. And so here you look at these skeletons and you can tell immediately that they are dwarf skeletons. And they're really, really old.
And does it look like this is the end of this section?
From where you're standing, it does.
Maybe I'll take one more step forward.
Yeah, so here you can see where the wall is. So you can see this is the end. And you do see that there is a hole in the ceiling, which is about 15 feet up. And, you surmise that these skeletons could have been dropped down that hole at some time in the ancient past. Now, with your search for traps, you don't find any traps, but you do catch light glinting off of something in the center of that pile of skeleton.
Well, I gotta go look at it.
Duh.
Yeah, I'll walk up to get a better look, or clamber over to get a better look.
Would it matter what color the light is?
Maybe. What is it? Is it just the glint, like a metal glint from my light, or It's its own light producing source.
Well, to you, it just looked like a glint off of like something metal.
Yeah, I'll clamber up onto those skeletons and see what it is.
All right. So we'll do balance. Do dexterity check. Okay. All right. So you pick your way onto these skeletons because this pile's quite large, and the way they're interlocked makes the footing sort of treacherous, and they're so old that they'll break under too much weight. But you make your way to where you detected this glint, and you peer down into the pile, and as you look down, you see a key. It's a large key, about as long as your hand, and it's got a like where the ring is like a carving, or like a carving of an eyeball. And it looks to be made out of gold or bronze maybe.
I will pick it up and put it in my pocket
Okay.
and head back to that tunnel. Is it possible that going down could eventually lead me up? I have no other choice.
All right.
But yeah, eventually I'll get there, or I'll proceed down it when I get there.
Okay. Yeah, so you move back to this tunnel and are set to head in. Now, Rohan, Fenrith, and Casimir. The dragon is dead, and Fenrith, it'll be your turn. Or no, never mind. So then the remaining halfling you can see is aghast about the death of the dragon, and she turns and flees at maximum speed out of sight.
What is that, like 80 feet?
Mm-hmm.
And
That halfling won't be riding its warg anymore.
you hear the clack of ward, claws against the stone, tearing off in the same direction, over to the left of Fenrith. And now, Fenrith, it's your turn. And the dragon is dead, and the enemies seem to have fled. And as that halfling's footfalls fade out of your hearing, you start to hear the bell toll loudly echoing throughout the cavern. So what do you do?
This bugbear is still here?
No. Yeah, that bugbear is still, it hasn't acted yet, so yeah, it's still there.
All right, I'm going to use burning hands. Actually, no, I'm going to heal myself.
Okay.
I will give up silence. Or actually, we'll give up prayer, level 3, to spontaneous cast.
Okay.
Cure serious wound.
All right. All right, yeah, so you
And then I'll move there.
feel the healing energies and some of your wounds stitch themselves up, and you move over here. Anything else?
Call out to Casimir and Rohan and say we should take this one alive.
Oh, man.
We barely got to interrogate the last one we took alive.
That's up to you.
Okay, Rohan.
All right. Would you allow me to try to shoot this bugbear spearman in the legs to kind of cripple him a bit?
Essentially, are you asking to take a -4 to deal subdual with your...
No, I wanted to deal actual damage. I just want to do it in a way that...
Well, that's not how this game works. You got actual damage or you got subdual damage.
Yeah,
I suppose I could take the -4 and do subdual.
with your bow.
Yeah, technically, I don't even think you can do that. They got special arrows for it.
Yeah, I know. How wounded does he look?
He's definitely hurt.
All right, I'll call out to him. Drop your weapons and put your hands in the air. And then I will ready a full attack round for if he refuses to comply.
Okay. Yeah, so he drops his spear and he raises his hands and he says, "I surrender."
Dang it.
Let's see here. Yeah, do a sense motive.
Everyone or just...
Yeah, everyone that hears him. Yeah.
Oh, goody. Does it really matter? Because I kind of want to kill him anyway. So... I might,
He's lying.
well, I'd probably believe him, right? Or whatever it is he's trying to do. Yeah.
Okay. Casimir, that brings us to you.
All right. I'll,
Yeah, so he's dropped his spear and he says, I surrender.
all right. Yeah, I'll pick up my trident and I'll, delay an attack if he approaches me.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right. So, that brings us back to you, Fenrith. So he's dropped his spear and he's got his arms up.
All right, I'm gonna wave him out towards me. I'll ready in action for if he does come out.
Hands up. Don't move. Come this way. I said don't move.
Okay. Rohan, you kind of got the sense that he's up to something when he said he surrendered. There was just a look on his face and you don't trust him.
But I can't sense anything as far as like what he intends.
No.
All right. I'll fire a warning shot. Just over his shoulder.
At Finrick.
Well, I don't think it'd be quite.
Just
be
fire
right
a
at
warning
Fenrith,
shot
but-
into him.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll fire a shot and I'll say, "Don't be trying anything funny."
Don't waylay us.
Oh, yeah. Over his shoulder, you say?
Yeah,
All right.
close enough that he can hear the crackle of the electricity as it passes by.
Okay. Do an attack roll in case you get a 1.
Seems to be slow loading today.
Yeah, first time you go to the tab, it usually seems to
Okay.
be kind of slow.
All right. Yeah. So you send this arrow flying past his head and, it spooks him a bit, but he keeps his hands up.
But yeah, and I'll say that in, was it Goblin?
Hmm.
I'm on to you.
All right. So he moves towards you, Fenrith, keeping his hands up, and Casimir.
I think I'll say that whatever it is we're going to do, we're going to have to do it quick. There's an alarm going off. This place will be surrounded soon.
We didn't see any way down or out of this place.
I'll gesture to
Yeah,
the portals.
That stuff in the well over
How
there
do we get them
too.
to work?
Same stuff that brought us down.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the people coming here. I can hide us if need be, but we need to make our decision. So that's my turn, I guess.
Okay. All right. So Fenrith, the bell tolls again, loudly, echoing through the cavern. And now this bugbear's standing in front of you there with his hands up.
All right, I'm gonna try and use some rope to bind him, at least his hands.
Speaking of rope, that's what I'll need to hide us.
Oh, you rope trick?
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to try and bind his hands? Do a use rope?
I'm probably not the best person to do this.
Too late.
Okay. Yeah. So you get his hands bound behind him and get a good knot on there.
All right, and then just start having him go in this direction.
Oh, okay. You push him that way. All right. Yeah. So he puts up no fuss as you prod him in that direction there. Rohan, that brings us to you.
I'm going to move this way until I can see. Let's see, I can move another 20. Trying to get to a point where I can see where the entrance to this section of the cave is.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out for incoming troops and keep an ear out for anything that's coming.
Okay. Yeah. So right there, you can pretty much see the mouth of the cavern. At this point, the only thing you can hear is that bell, which tolls every 6 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. All right. Casimir, what would you like to do?
Guess I'll move over to Fenrith. Fenrith. And, what are we doing?
There's, I don't even know what we were really calling it, but that stuff that sucked us down here the first time and deposited us into that water. There's one up here. Because I want this guy to tell me what.
It's a
Where it
one-way
goes.
trip. He might not even know. I'll ask him. And You know,
Who?
the
The bugbear?
yeah, the bugbear. Where does the black water lead or whatever? I'll do it in goblin form.
Okay. So he says leads us to that'll take you to the forbidden section where the master lives.
Sounds like a place we should visit.
I agree. Rohan.
What about these things?
That's my
I'll point
turn.
to like the yellow, blue, and red things.
I couldn't figure out how to activate them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Without knowledge of how to activate them, they're useless to us. I'm more worried about people coming
All right.
through them.
Well, it sounds like we've got our direction. We can probably dispose of this thing, unless you want to find out more about it.
From what we've seen of them, I doubt they actually really know too much of anything.
All right, Fenrith, that's back to you then.
All right. Well, we got what we wanted from this guy.
Yeah, I'm fine with you killing him. Go for it. And that's how our cleric lost all his magic powers before the boss fight. Nice.
Since he tied up, can't you just coup de grace?
I don't think
Yeah,
he's in a
tied
helpless
up.
state, technically. Right, because he's still able to walk.
All right. So, so you're just wanting to kill him, Fenrith?
Yeah,
Yeah. So just describe
Just
how
take
you
his
want to
head.
do it and all.
just simple.
Okay, you're going to lop his head off? Okay. All right, so he sees the blow coming, and for some reason he grins. And then you take his head off, and it rolls onto the floor. Interestingly enough, his body remains standing. You took his head off so cleanly that his body hasn't fallen. So still standing there, and dark blood is spurting out of the wound there. And is that it for your
If
turn?
I can, I'll continue to move at least one movement down that way.
No, you could do a 5 foot, but we'll say your execution's
All right,
a
I'll
full
just
round.
Wait till next round.
Okay. And Rohan. So do a listen.
All right. In the tower?
Yeah. Okay. So you got your eyes on that entrance to this cavern, and the bell tolls, but you don't hear any other sounds of approaching enemies.
Okay. I'm going to move back to the corpse of the dragon and try and pry out one of its teeth.
Okay.
I've never seen a dragon before we came here, so I want a trophy.
I want many parts of that dragon for my spells. But
Hurry on over.
no, we're pressed for time.
We'll turn it into a buffet.
Ooh, I wonder what dragon would taste like.
Okay, so you go over to the dragon and you start prying at its teeth.
It would probably go faster if I had my dagger.
Don't worry. Just actually, you could probably get a good.
Use that blade of grass to...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like sawing through the bars on
Well,
Actually, I have
mace.
the short sword that I have.
okay.
Have you stolen those too, Travis? Is that why you're laughing over there?
So yeah,
Yeah, so you took a move action to get over there, and then so with your remaining action, you start peeling back the lips and looking at this teeth, and you're thinking about using a short sword.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say that it's immediately evident to you that you will never get these teeth out with a short sword. So, I mean, as you're looking at it, and you got a hold of this tooth and seeing where it's attached, you would need like a bone saw, you think?
Could I maybe break one with a heavy mace?
Well, it's possible. That or a bone saw seems to be the only ideas that you think would work.
Brings up an interesting question, though. Does damage reduction go away when
After
a
they're
creature
dead?
dies?
I don't think so.
I think it might depend on the type of damage reduction,
Yeah.
right? Because some of it, like a tough hide isn't going to
Stop,
be less
yeah.
tough.
But what dragons have
Yeah.
magic, right? Damage reduction magic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that could just be because, like Smog, his damage reduction wouldn't have disappeared because
Right.
it was all like crusted on him. It could be something similar to that they were going for, is that their plate is hard.
Yeah.
The scales are super hard.
Well, anyway,
Sorry, Brent.
Yeah.
if you want to use the mace, we'll have you go ahead and roll
maybe a pickaxe. You got a pickaxe.
Damage.
All right, yeah, I'll give it one good shot with the mace. That's a horrible one.
So, just you're a ranger, and you've hunted, and you've dressed game, and you've skinned, and so basically, here's what it comes down to: it would probably take you an hour using whatever means to break this tooth loose. So that's what is evident to you as you're looking at it, and you take an ineffectual swing at it with the mace, and it's not, you've removed ivory from elk with a knife, no problem, but this is a totally different thing. So
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that'll be that turn, and then I'll give up.
okay, all right. Now this bugbear's body finishes the process and falls forward,
Thank God. I was really worried for a second.
and
Turn into a freaking undead vulture thing.
so that'll bring us to Casimir.
All right, so I'll point like a kind of like a questioning point on the direction that I'm supposed to go.
Okay.
Or actually, no, I'll just wait for Finrith. I'll delay my turn till after him. Or, yeah.
All right. So Fenrith, then back to you.
All right. I will move towards that well.
All right. And then you're going to follow him, Casimir?
Yeah.
And Rohan, what are you going to do? We don't need to be in combat rounds right now.
I'll eventually follow them.
Okay. So Fenrith, you make your way up here, and you follow him, Casimir. And a few moments later, Rohan makes his way up. So there you are, Fenrith. You're looking into this blackness.
All right. Can I spontaneous cast cure moderate wound mass in place of Hero's Feast?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so you cast this spell, and all of you feel the healing energy sweep through you, stitch some of your wounds together. So Rohan, you're feeling great. Yeah, so that's what you do, Fenrith, and then what are the rest of you want to do?
Let's see.
Now, from here, the bell is still tolling, but what comes of that? You've seen no evidence.
Yeah, and one of the bigger threats was the dragon, but I think we're still basically all fresh. Except for maybe
I'm still
Finrith.
good.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
I'll go first. Okay. I'll jump into the blackness.
Where was the bell tolling from? I don't remember anything.
Well, all directions.
Probably just an alarm
There was
spell coming from
yeah.
everywhere.
All right, so Casimir, you hop in.
It's all.
So
No, I was gonna say I'll
Go ahead,
wait
John.
about 2 minutes and then see if Rohan wants to go. If he doesn't, then I'll hop in.
That way we avoid the Doom portal accidents.
all right, so
we could end up
Rohan.
like the fly where it come out with as one, but with the best powers of both of us.
Yeah, wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
Essentially the fusion.
Just get into the portal,
All
Rohan.
right, so Rohan, your companions have disappeared into this black substance. Are you going to follow them?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Okay, so you feel the sensation of it feels much like water, but somehow heavier and thicker, but it envelops you, and it's freezing cold, like painfully so, and you are swept along in this blackness. You don't have there's no sounds, there's no sights, no smells, just the sensation of icy cold gripping you and pulling you along. So it's impossible to determine how long this takes. There's no sense of time. And Graham, we'll move over to you. So you head into this tunnel, and it is going at a downward slope, which had discouraged you at first. But after about a quarter of a mile, you guess, it starts to make its way back up at a gradual angle. And there are no features of interest or note in this tunnel. It has perfectly smooth sides to it, and it's completely stone. There are no sections like normally when you're traveling underground, you'll come to sections where the stone is broken up by a dirt or clay, but that's not the case here. It's 100% stone all the way through, perfectly smooth in a circular shape. And it's not smooth in the sense that traction is difficult. So when you're angling upwards, it's not a difficult trek. But because of the unbroken scenery, it becomes disorienting after a while, because no part of it looks different than another, and you get this weird effect where you start to wonder if you're actually moving forward or just walking in place. But after you had started angling upward, after about two miles, you imagine, you see an exit up ahead, just by the chance flash of some distant light illuminating the exit of this tunnel. You see that up ahead.
I'm kind of curious. I don't know in game time how much has passed since I last slept. My last sleep was in a secret room where I found a book that had to do with like focus. So I'm just wondering, in such a journey like that, if I would begin flagging at all, or
let's see. Let's think about it.
Because Graham wouldn't hold that. He's not the sort to push through. He's more like a child where, well, children push through, never mind. But when they do stop, they just stop where they're at. This seems like a good spot.
Yeah, I guess it would be time to sleep. Yeah, I guess that would have been quite a stretch of time that's passed.
Just climb in your backpack.
Yeah.
And go to bed.
That thought hasn't occurred to him. So when would you say that begins to hit me? Is it when I reach the end, or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, right about the time when you saw the end was approaching.
Okay.
You'd realize you've been up for a couple of days.
Well, I would take a little heart at seeing some sort of change in the scenery and push through to the end, I suppose, before finding a place to rest my head.
Okay. So you do then. You push through and you reach the end, and what you see, give me one moment here. So you would have your dagger lit up?
Yes. Unless I hear anything that concerns me, and then I'll go dark.
I kind of imagine him doing his nightly routine as he's going. So he's like brushing his hair and brushing his teeth as he's walking through the dungeon, like just looking for a place to go to sleep.
Eyes half closed.
Yep. Like a toddler that just kind of wanders into walls as they make their way to their bed.
So you come out onto a path, and on either side of you, nothing but blackness. It's like an edge drops off into who knows how deep cavern on either side. So you don't really have a sense, because of your light. You can't get the dimensions of this new area. You can tell that as far as your light will reach, there's nothing but blackness on either side of this path.
Okay.
But you do see way off to the north, suspended in the blackness, is like a platform. Can you see it on your map?
No, my map's got nothing on it that I can tell. There we go. Yes.
So you can see points of light way off in that direction, and a little below your plane. So, fires and statues.
That looks like such a long ways away.
Yeah, it is really a long way away. But that's all you can see in this infinite blackness here.
Well, I'll start poking around near me for a little nook or cranny that I can snuggle into.
Okay.
And just go to sleep. Well, brush my teeth, take my boots off, go to sleep.
All right. So just doing a little bit of wandering around, you can see that the only nook or cranny is back inside the tunnel.
Okay.
So that's where you go to curl up and
Sleep on a slope.
yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
And it's as you're just about to fall asleep, three forms seem to just appear out of the ceiling of this tunnel and land lightly on the ground in front of you. So, Casimir, Fenrith, and Rohan, you're pulled along this stream for, who knows how long. And then with a shocking suddenness, sight and sound and scent all reappear, and you drop lightly to the ground, this hard stone ground, inside a tunnel, and you're looking directly at Graham, who is now laid out on his bedroll and looking like he's about to go to sleep.
No time for being lazy, Graham. We got to keep going.
I was just gonna lay down on the.
I just see figures, though, right?
Yeah, I was about to type, if you sneak attack me, I swear to God. But we're aware of you, so we're not flat-footed.
Is this a good spot for a camp?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, you recognize who they are,
Oh, okay. All right. I'll be like, so I'd gotten sort of settled there, and then I sort of popped my head up with a start.
Yeah.
And when I realize who it is, I'll be propped up on one elbow, and I'll be like, oh, hey, guys, how are you doing?
None the worse for wear.
It was actually fairly good.
How about yourself?
How are you? Are you injured?
Where have you been?
No, I'm doing pretty good. I have gifts for you guys.
Perhaps we can...
Yeah, so you can tell, looking at Graham, that he has acquired a new pack. This one looks really nice, really well made, and bigger than the one you guys have.
I got it from Cabela's.
It is good to see you again, though. I feared that you might have been lost.
Yeah, I missed you guys a lot. You can't be lost if...
You've got nowhere to be.
Can't be
guess
lost if you
I
don't
was
know where
lost.
you are. But that's...
in any case, let me... I think that's the definition
Exactly.
of being lost. But let me show you what I got. So I'll open up that bag, still shoeless, with my stick out of one corner of my mouth.
Okay.
Start rooting through there. I don't know what's all in here. I just started putting stuff in here, but well, let's see. I guess the first thing that pops to mind is there's a book that made me think of you. I just can't remember the title of it.
Oh.
So I'll pull that out first. I thought you would be interested in this one, Casimir.
Thank you, Graham.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't write the title down?
No.
But I don't know if this is really the appropriate time to be handing out gifts.
What are you talking about? It's time to
we
sleep.
set off an alarm in the last
hold on,
area that we
Casimir.
were at.
Let me show the others.
Yeah, for certain you can tell just by looking at Graham that he's been up a long time. He's exhausted.
I got one question for you, Fenrith.
I think he's delirious, guys.
Do you hear the alarm now?
Do I? No. All right.
Everything's good. Anyways, here's this weird, it was like a metal orb or something. I'll pull that out. Give that to, I don't know, it made me think of you,
I'll
Fenrith.
accept it with a word of thanks.
Sorry, Rohan, I guess I didn't get anything.
Do you want to
for
get
you.
some dirt from
Can I
The,
have my knife back?
the bag that I hold? You should still have like a few pounds of it in there.
I got some more. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I get. If I have it, I don't know if I have the knife anymore. Let me take a look.
I'll hand him back the blade of grass that he substituted it for.
Did you keep it alive somehow through some strange ranger ability?
Maybe.
No, I don't have. I must have ditched it to keep my weight down. What
Okay.
dagger? You've never had a dagger. You've only ever had blades of grass.
I think that's a
I
bluff
thought
check.
it was just part of your training. Sorry, Brand. I didn't write any of that down.
I don't remember an orb.
It was in the chest.
Yeah.
It might not have been an orb. I just I've forgotten the description of it.
Well,
We can figure this out.
there was a necklace with beads on it.
Maybe that's what it was. You described something that was like metal, like a big metal object. I feel like.
Okay.
Well, regardless, perhaps this isn't the best place to be doling out trinkets, Graham.
I disagree, Casimir. I've been holding on to him for quite a while now.
They're getting real heavy.
He looks exhausted.
Oh, there we go, Rohan. This is your bag.
Oh,
You can have it. I can't carry it, anyways.
well, thank you, Graham.
It has some other stuff in it. I'm not sure. I don't tend to write things down
As
when
he's
I'm all alone.
handing it to me, I'm gonna be ushering him along as we move out. Continuing to talk to him.
Hold on, I need to get my boots on.
No, we can. You just grab him. We'll
I
find a place
can
soon.
cast
That doesn't
lesser restoration on you, as it'll eliminate fatigue and improves any exhausted condition to fatigued.
Okay, Fenris, but what are we going to do about
Well, just until
sleeping?
we can find somewhere to sleep.
But I've already done the ritual. Well,
This is like playing with a Ouija board in a graveyard or not saying goodbye if I don't complete it.
who knows what disaster could happen? Well, if we're going to bed down for the night, I can create a extra dimensional pocket that we can sleep in.
Oh, actually, I feel quite better. I think we could press on for a while. So, let's get to it, Casimir.
No time for being lazy.
Right. We're running out of time. And I'll gather up my things.
Great idea, Graham.
Okay.
I saw some lights outside of this tunnel. You don't have to worry about traveling south. That's where I came from. There's really nothing back that way. So, north's the direction you want to go, I think.
Oh, someone's dead.
All right. So,
I think that spell killed Graham. Oh, there he is. So it just had a red X over him.
I think it's because he failed his save. If that was the case, I think that's when that happens.
so Fenrith, your divine power is
Yes.
gone, along with your resist acid. So make sure you reset your base attack bonus and all that. How long did your mirror images have been gone too?
Yeah. And then I believe shield is hours? Minutes?
Yeah, either way, it's gone. All right, so all of you can see what Graham had been talking about. There's like just infinite blackness in either direction, but then some points of light off to the north. Can you guys see it?
You gotta zoom out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
I can't see it.
Yeah,
I
zoom
zoomed
out.
out till I can't see us
Like
anymore.
Way out.
It's just slightly northwest of us, man.
Well, I lost us too.
You see my
no,
mark?
I zoomed out way too far.
Well, then zoom in.
But it's just blackness.
Well, at any rate, you can see it's like a platform out there, or, some ground you see out there with some torches and some statues. So that's all you can see. And then this path you're on, it's there's no railing or anything. It's just a sharp drop off on either side for, as far as your light can see. Can't see the ceiling above you.
Well, time to give the old poke to the air. Like, see if there's any invisible platform or something. Double check that.
Oh, yeah, no, there's not. It's just empty space.
All right. Do you want to check it out, Rohan?
Yeah. First, I'm going to cast the listening lore call on myself. Give myself the bonus to hearing along with the echolocation.
Right.
Turn off all my lights and then activate the fly ability on my armor.
Well, not Graham's here. We might be able to put like invisibility into the ring of spell storing that he wears, and you could activate that if you get near anything.
Yeah. But my dark vision's gone. This is so I can see
I have
without...
true seeing. Do you want that?
What does invisibility have to do with?
Does trucing
Yeah, let's
let
see.
you
It
see in
says
the dark?
I don't think so.
No.
confer on the subject the ability to see all things as they actually are. Subject sees through normal and magical
Well, we know
darkness.
that.
Notices secret doors hidden by magic.
Oh, okay.
Sees the exact location of creatures or objects under blur displacement effects. Sees invisible creatures normally. Sees through illusions and true form of polymorph, changed or transmuted things. You can focus its vision to see into the ethereal plane, but not into extra dimensional spaces. Range of truce being conferred as 120 feet. And it would last for 11 minutes. Do you want it?
Sure. Yeah, in that case, I'll save my spell.
Oh.
And then how long could I fly for?
Do you mean your speed or your actual duration?
Both. I thought the speed was just my normal speed, but
Does it just cast the spell, or is
Yeah,
it just
'cause-
the on-off thing? Ring. It's your ring, right? That does it.
no, this one is my armor. The featherfall was my ring.
Oh, okay. Well, the spell lasts a minute a level, if that's how it works.
Yeah, that is how it works.
Okay.
So is this spot off to the west where you came from, Travis, or is that where you're going?
Which spot? I haven't explored very much out here.
Yeah,
Well,
he come from the other direction.
Yeah, I think that's where you.
He came from the right.
What is this circle? Sorry.
That's where you guys all are.
That's me asking if that's where you came from.
No, I actually don't really know.
No.
I know I was traveling north, so I imagine it was somewhere to the south. The things were the same.
So what's to our right then?
The tunnel that you're
Oh,
in.
okay.
There's just I didn't put it on the map, but
Okay.
that's where this is where you come out of the tunnel where you guys are
Oh,
standing.
that
right
just made me sort of confused because I thought we were standing at the edge there.
now. Oh no, I'm talking about like an edge here and an
Yeah.
edge here. That's the edge I'm talking about.
And then
I just don't have it on the map, but
All right, well, then I guess we actually have a place to go. So,
yeah. So I fixed your vision, Rohan, so you can see.
Oh, weird. If I go off the path, then I stop seeing stuff.
it's
Yeah.
probably because of how the light boxing works
Yeah.
for dynamic lighting.
All right. So Rohan, what did you want to do?
So while they're working their way along the path, I was going to activate my fly ability,
Okay.
turn off my lights, and just use the 120-foot sight that John gave me, and kind of go ahead up towards that spot up north.
Okay. All right. So, Ron, you take flight across the darkness here, and you make your way towards that platform. So, as you get to about where you are now, more things come into view. So you can see that this platform has a path to the right and the left. And what's going on it now, you can see two large magical symbols. And in the center of it, this sort of dais steps on all sides with a narrow platform on the southern part of it. And then you can see flames down there. And blood everywhere, of course. And now you're witnessing now that this is where sacrifices are taking place. So there's a cloaked figure standing on that platform, and then there's a whole line. You can detect goblins and bugbears and elves and halflings and hobgoblins. There's a whole line of them just waiting patiently, seemingly, to be sacrificed. They're in chains and whatnot. And then there's bugbears and some larger figures standing guard over those prisoners. That's what you can see. And even from where you are, that's still quite a ways away.
Okay. Now, I can't see the path anymore. It looks kind of like the path will kind of come up from the left-hand side of this
No,
dais, or...
no, like the path that your companions are on.
Yeah.
No, you can't see any indication from where you are that it will ever meet that platform.
Okay. Then I guess my next step is try and find a way for us to get to that platform from where we're at.
Give me 1 second to fix something here.
That is something we should probably be concerned about. It is our lights will be visible for a long, long way.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, so you're going to make your way back to the path that they were on?
Yeah. I may kind of swing a little bit wide to the left of the dais to see where, because you said that there's a path that comes from the left and one that comes from, and goes to the right.
Yeah.
So I was going to kind of swing up and around it a little bit,
Okay.
keeping my distance from it, but close enough that I can see where that path goes.
Okay. So what you see from here is that path disappears into the cavern wall.
Okay. And then I'll...
Now, and that would be what you guess to be at least 40 feet below the level of the path your friends are on.
Okay. Then I guess I'll follow the cavern wall down towards our path.
Okay. All right. So what would the rest of you like to do?
Keep following the path, I guess.
Okay. All right. So it goes on and on and on quite a ways. And eventually you meet back up with Rohan.
How much water can you create in a day?
Gallons.
As much as you need.
I don't even think there's a day limit. I think it's at will.
And so you can see as you're moving along this that eventually you come to a tunnel entrance up ahead.
3 range increments. I might be able to hit something from there.
You better be able to.
So from here, you can kind of get a better view of what's going on that platform. And you can see there's a big cluster of bugbears and goblins guarding the prisoners. And they're standing on sort of the southern edge. And from this distance, you can see basically what they're doing is just, fooling around, not taking the event seriously. The prisoners aren't putting up a fight, and the priest is chanting and doing these sacrifices and tossing the bodies into the fire. But there's a cluster that has 4 or 5 bugbears standing in front, and behind them there's 2 much larger forms that you guess would be giants of some sort. And then behind them, a lot more smaller forms that could be, from this distance, they could be goblins or they could be halflings or whatever. But basically just fooling around and not paying any attention. But these distances, like from where you're standing, this platform is a little bit lower, on a lower level than where you guys are.
All right.
Yeah, so you just have that tunnel entrance there.
If this tunnel leads around, we should probably figure out how we're going to be rushing this ritual.
Yeah.
So let's see what I got here. I guess we can keep going and maybe have our scouts go up ahead first. So that way we can stop far enough back and prepare. What do you still have in the ring, Graham?
It's long been emptied.
Get it here.
I like displacement and invisibility if you have it.
I'll put greater invisibility into the ring.
What level is that one?
4.
Would I have a level left?
Yeah, obscuring
Did
mist.
you want
Yeah,
darkness?
That one's always been handy.
Huh?
Yeah, you could put it on a
Okay.
coin again, right before we charge out.
All right. So into Graham's ring, I'm going to cast greater invisibility.
Okay.
There we go. And obscuring mist. That said, I think before we actually rush into the ritual, if that's where this leads.
Nope, too late. Here we go.
You spooked me there for a second. I think maybe we should go in after initial buffing, under invisibility sphere. Give ourselves as much chance as possible.
I'm good with that.
Okay. That said, does this ritual take place on stone?
Yeah, from what you can see.
All right.
Well, yeah.
All
That's
right.
what it looks like to you.
Because if if the stuff hits the fan, I'm just disappearing into the stone, and you guys can figure it out.
Okay. All right. So you cast. What did you cast?
I cast it into Graham's ring.
Okay.
Greater invisibility and obscuring mist.
Gotcha.
And Fenrith casts darkness on a coin that I keep in my pouch
Okay.
for mobile darkness deployment.
All right. Then how do you proceed?
Scouts up ahead. Me and Fenrith probably 20 to 40 feet back.
Rohan,
Didn't work.
we have natural cavern and stone, so whose responsibility is it to scout?
I think it's both of us.
Okay, I'll back you up.
All right.
We are also heading towards a potentially magical area, like a ritual.
Right.
So detect magic might want to be up. I forget. I think we only cast it on ourselves, right? Wait a sec. You still got true sight. Depending on how long it took you, you might be able to see it, right? How's that work?
That's only 11 minutes, so we may have gone past that by the time we get around. And did we even find out yet whether or not this cavern leads down there?
No.
No, I think
Okay.
well this little bit of buffing they did will last essentially indefinitely. I mean, darkness will run out, but it lasts a long time.
Yeah, and the stuff I cast into the ring actually haven't been
Right.
used yet.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still going into the
Hey,
cavern.
do you have that healing
Casimir had
rod
recommended.
still?
I don't know what healing rod you're referring to.
The black rod that
You know,
we
technically,
were using for healing.
he can use it too.
I think I.
Could
Oh
you,
yeah, I got that one.
bat me with it a couple times.
Sure. It's,
Maybe
times, you
once.
say?
We'll see how well the first one rolls.
Okay. Successfully used it this time. Target. Yeah. 1 moment.
All right, that should be good.
Do you need
I
another
think I'll
one?
be all right with that.
Okay.
Because I got only 6 points of damage. Leaves me 118 hit points to work with.
Casimir
Yeah.
could probably use one.
Yeah, I'll hold the rod up and ask anybody else.
Form a line.
Clunk.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
say I need some.
Oh, elements blast this rod. It only works 75% of the time.
You know, he could use it.
What, the rod?
Rohan, yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason I was carrying it.
It's because he couldn't use it. Well, actually, he technically could.
Yeah, I think
because he's a
we
ranger.
handed it to him
Well, it
so
was
that it
also-
would free me up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's also usually up in the thick of it. Need to get good at throwing stuff to each other.
If you all get catch arrow, I could just tie something to my arrows.
Well, there are cure potion arrows. I'm sure if you had the potion, said potion, your hero craft could probably take care of creating the arrow. Thank you, Graham. Yeah, I think I can cast detect magic on other people. That's
I think the problem, if I remember correctly, is that you couldn't take, say, like a standard action. So the act of me searching would drop the
yes.
detect magic.
So I'd have to cast on like Rohan, who's up
Yeah.
there with you, and he can concentrate on it.
And then I can do the physical.
I'm
searching.
just like super leery on that because I think displacement was the one I had the problem with, where it's only self
Oh,
targeting, so I have to cast it into the ring. So does that sound like a plan for you, Rohan? Have detect magic on you?
Yeah, that works.
All right.
One more level and I'll be able to keep that on myself.
So it lasts 7 minutes for me, but we'll use up mine first because it's 0 level. I think it's 0 level for John too, but you never know. That might be the stabilizing hit point.
I cast it on myself.
Okay.
Well, the thing is we're not up there with them, right? That's why Rohan needs it. I think there's an effect for it.
But Graham, it's good to see you safe.
It's good to see you too, Rohan, and I'll weep a little.
All right. So Ron's going through first, and Graham.
Yep.
Yep.
Where we're doing it was the Rogue Wizard special, but Rohan's filling in as the wizard detecting magic, and
Yeah.
then I'm searching for traps and such as we go.
Yeah. And we can have our lights off, right? Because you've got your blood sight.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
murder
probably
vision.
be able to see traps
vision.
with it.
Oh yeah.
Well, if we went that whole path with our light, I mean,
Yeah.
that's priority blown, and it'd be kind of difficult to go through a cave without any light. But did your true seeing drop? Is that what happened?
If it does, I still have my listening lore call, which lets me use echolocation.
You'd have to cast it, which would drop your detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
I could cast it before I get detect magic on me.
Okay.
It lasts 10 minutes per caster level, so it would last 50 minutes.
Well, in that case, I think that would be the way to do it, because then you can be a little bit ahead, and then I can see you,
Yeah.
but I won't be able to search without some light of my own.
Okay. Yeah, and I can move ahead a little bit, get around corners and stuff like that.
But I could back you up if you get into any trouble, because I'd still be able to sneak attack that enemy and whatnot anyway.
And he'll be able to detect any traps.
What's up?
And he'll be able to detect
That's
any
true.
traps when he...
When I set them off.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that your bag still has to be properly identified. I just know it was like the other one that we had when I messed around with it a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't know what its type is or anything.
Yeah, I'll prepare after we sleep. I'll prepare a bunch of identifies.
That's assuming we survive the next little bit.
Well, I figure I'm going to survive.
All right. Okay, so Graham and Rohan, you step in to this tunnel, and how you were staying 40 feet ahead? Is that what I
Yeah.
heard? Okay. So you go about 30 feet, and there's a very sharp left turn, and the tunnel narrows at that point for just one person at a time to be able to fit through. And then it goes
Claustrophobia setting in.
It goes that way pretty straight for about 10 minutes. So for quite a distance. And then it suddenly widens out again and turns sharply to the north. And the natural cavern gives way to a worked stone hallway. And so let me put Graham and Rohan here. So Graham and Rohan, you come out of the natural cavern into this worked stone hallway, and it looks like this. And the path moves sharply to the left. So now, Graham, how can you see? Dark vision?
I think my murder vision picks up Rohan, right?
Yeah,
So I'm trailing him.
got you. And Rohan, how are you seeing?
Echolocation, that listening lore call.
Okay, let me...
You wouldn't be able to see magic.
I should still be able to see the magical aura, shouldn't I?
No, because invisibility stops it. You have to actually be able to see. You have to know where you're focusing.
Oh.
Should we give up and turn on our lights?
Should we turn back? Go home?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'll use the echolocation to kind of feel out ahead of us, and then we'll turn our lights on and off at various points.
All right, so Graham, we'll put a vision on you too, because you're the site that Bloodtooth affords you definitely gives you the basic outlines of terrain. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're not gonna be able to read with it,
Right.
but there you go.
Pick up
So,
fine details, yeah.
yeah. So now you've entered this section, and not long after, Casimir and Fenrith catch up to you.
Does tech magic work with blind sight? No.
And now, Casimir and Fenrith, do you have lights on?
Yes.
Well, how
Okay.
far out does your echolocation see, and does it like see around corners and such?
Yeah, it should.
40 feet, and yeah, the echolocation, I can see out 40 feet, and then anything within 20 feet I can detect.
Anybody got a candle? Because if you don't detect anything within 40 feet, if we had a lesser amount of Bloodtooth's light is somewhat dimmer than the rest of the magic items. So, like when we get to that choke point, I might call for you to halt, and I'll key on Bloodtooth if you don't detect anything,
Yeah.
and then I can check it for traps. Then we can proceed forward.
Okay.
That sounds good for you.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you've entered this worked section, and you can see that the floor, rather than being stone that was just smoothed by workers, this is actually in blocks of stone that were put in place here. Massive blocks, but definitely blocks all the same with mortar in them, in the joints. And you can see the very faint remnants of what once would have been some sort of artwork or scroll work in the stone that's since been faded and cracked and disappeared. But the same is true for the walls. They were made of stone blocks, all of them, from what you can see, cut to the exact same dimensions and then placed here with the mortar now. There's cracks in a lot of them now, and parts have chipped out, and dust covers them, and some of them are crumbling, so it doesn't look anywhere near as resplendent as it would have when it was put together, but that's what you see here. And then the pathway continues on to the left as far as you're able to see.
Okay. I guess we'll move out this way.
Just do one at a time. One move.
Move to there.
All right, so
Listen around the corners.
put a listen in the tower and put a move silently in the tower. Okay?
Oh, that listen should have a +4 to it as well.
All right.
That.
Okay, Graham, now you're going to follow him, so you do the same. Okay. All right, so Ron, you get to this corner and you peer around and you see that the hallway continues on. And then Graham sidles up next to you. And you're listening for anything, and you do hear a sound now. You hear a angry voice cursing. It's a voice you recognize, Graham, because it sounds, well, and so do you, Rohan. You heard it the other night when you were holed up in that room with the bugbear prisoner. You had heard a conversation between two people, and one of the voices sounded very odd, like hollow, like it was resonating out from within, some large chamber maybe. And you recognized that voice, Graham, from the scene in the throne room with the beholder. This was the one that was halfling, but dressed in the black spiked armor.
Okay.
So it sounds exactly like that voice, and he's cursing. And some other voice is arguing with him quite forcefully, but you can't make out that person's words. But the odd voice halfling says, they've killed my dragon. I'm not going to take them prisoner. And then the other voice says a few more things, but whatever that other voice says, it does not seem to convince the first one. And he swears that he's going to have his vengeance, and the stranger can take his concerns to hell with him. So that's what you hear from there, and then you hear the sound of steel boots clanking on stone moving off into the distance.
All right.
What do you think?
Well, I think we should move forward, see if we can find out where these guys are.
That voice sounds familiar.
Yeah, we heard it the other night as well. Seems to be some sort of a commander of the soldiers around here.
Yeah, I heard them all talking. It's very involved and complicated. Some kind of plan.
What did you go through while you were away from us?
I just traveled for a long time.
All right.
And all the murder.
Was there anything that you think that we should definitely know going into this?
Probably. I just can't remember it.
All right, Graham. Well, let's stay close and let's try and figure out where this guy is, see if we can lay an ambush for him.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll move up to the next corner.
All right, and now I see that Casimir cast Detect Magic.
Yeah, on Rohan.
Yeah.
All right, so Ron, you have Detect Magic.
Yeah.
You might have to come back. It's 7 minutes. So every 7 minutes.
Okay. Well, we'll try and move through this area as quickly as we can while
All right.
being safe.
So, as you're moving up to that next section, Rohan, you detect a magical aura up ahead.
Okay. In that room, or through that doorway to the north, or down the hallway?
No, you detect it. Give me 1 second.
So should we tie a rope around Graham every time he tries to pick a lock now, just in case the floor drops out from
It's
under
probably
him
not a
again?
bad idea. Eventually, I think we should be able to put anchor on us, and then have him with a teleport
Yeah.
like scroll, so he'll always teleport back to us.
Okay.
All right.
So you detect it right there. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so you detect an aura coming from the floor there, right before you reach that corner.
Okay. So I'll tell Graham to wait here, that there's some sort of a magical aura on the floor, and then I'll slip back to go grab Casimir,
Okay?
and I'll bring him forward to that spot.
Well, while he slipped away, I'll look it over.
Okay.
We're gonna hear an explosion in the distance.
Here's my search for traps. I'll stay where I'm at, though, because I can search out to 10 feet.
It can't activate if I'm this far back. So how far ahead are you guys?
We're only about 40 feet, so
Okay.
not that far. It'll only take us
Only like 10 or 15 seconds for me to get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sounds about right.
It's long enough, but
2 actions. Find it.
If you
try to
want,
disable
I
it,
can cast
disappear into a
silent
teleporter.
on something that we're wearing if we have to sneak. Or we can
okay.
just
Well, my sneak skill's so low.
walk and clang like normal.
yeah, I think being able to talk to each other's kind of important.
That's what we created hand signals for, that only Casimir and Graham practiced.
We didn't create them. Yeah, we didn't create
Well,
them.
They're
And
the
being
ones
able to cast
that
spells.
really.
The previous heroes used, yeah.
Graham, you don't detect any traps with your search.
Well, I am a believer in the rogue wizard combo, so I'll assume it was something magical. Master did say they're pretty tricky, and I better just wait here for now.
Gotta count all your fingers when dealing with a wizard.
That's right.
They'll steal everything from you.
Okay?
Or turn them into mushrooms, and mushroom fingers are no good.
All right, so am I moving up here, or did you
Yeah.
come back? Okay.
I was going to have you move up
All right.
because I'm not yet skilled enough to be able to tell what it might be.
All right, so do I see any obvious runes or anything immediately? Or do I need to detect the aura?
Let's see. No, you don't see any obvious runes or anything of that sort.
All right, so I'll cast Detect Magic on myself and start studying.
Okay. Yeah, so you detect the presence of a magical aura, and all your own, and then the one you're focusing on, it's not very strong. But as you look at it longer, it's a faint aura,
Okay.
and you can make a spellcraft.
All right.
So this is from the abjuration
Okay.
school.
Is there any effects that are obvious, or is it just not active, essentially, to try to identify the spell in place?
Let's see.
Identify spells already in place. You must be able to see or detect the effects of the spell.
Yeah, there's no effects that you can detect.
All right. So what would it take for me to narrow down what it could possibly be from the abjuration school? Like knowledge arcana or...
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, do that.
All right. Let's see.
But do a at a +2. Well, actually, is it +2 or is it +4? Do a +4.
Do you want it in the tower?
Yeah. Okay. So from the abjuration school and at the faintness of the aura and its placement, you'd guess this is an alarm spell.
Okay. Alarm spell. I believe there's might be a way to alarm.
You want me to dispel it?
Yeah, I believe that's one way
Or
we
I
can get
can
rid of
cast
it.
silence.
Well, the alarm's going to trigger in the caster's head as well, I believe, right?
Cast silence in his head.
That's
It
One
can be done either
possible.
way. Yeah.
Choose a sound. So your silence would have to cover 60 feet if it's the audible. Reduces by 10 feet for each closed door and 20 feet for each substantial wall. In quiet conditions, the ringing can be heard up to 180 feet.
What level is it?
It's a level 1.
Yeah, it's real low.
DC 26 for me. Be a 50-50 shot if I did it.
what to disable it.
Oh, yeah, magic ones are kind of tricky. I'll try it if you guys want, though.
What level's Dispel, Jim?
Level 3.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys.
And what do you guys have with that? A caster level check
Yes.
versus what?
It's,
The level of the traps creator.
Too bad we're not more trap focused.
Well, I have been meaning to put points into it.
Yeah, because this seems like a good place where we could set up some traps, trip the alarm, and then back off and let them walk into it.
That does remind me, Ron. There's some mushrooms in your bag. Don't eat them. They're poisonous.
Thank you for the warning, Graham.
Yeah, and the DC is the 11 plus the spell's caster level.
And depending on whether or not this is a one-shot alarm or whether it was permanenced,
So yeah,
Would make a
50%
difference.
chance I could overcome it, 25% chance that my failure would actually spring it.
we've had worse odds, but
Well, will the Dispel, if it fails, trigger the alarm? I don't...
I don't think so.
No, if I succeed, it is dispelled. If I fail, it just remains in effect.
Yeah, so we have to enter the warded area or touches it. Or we could try to figure out the password, which probably won't happen.
You want me to try and dispel it first?
Could you attempt to use magic device to figure out the password of an alarm spell?
I don't know any rules on it, so that would be up to the GM.
If there's no rules on it, then don't,
Yeah, because it really only details items. If it's some unknown device, then the language it uses to activate blindly. So I suppose I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's that third level spell slot that that gets me. That's a fairly decent cure if need be.
Yeah.
Well, let me try it. What's the worst that could happen? It couldn't be any worse than falling many miles.
If he
underground
trips it,
and a long
then we can
multi-day
just
journey.
set an ambush.
True. Go for it, Graham.
It's good to have you
Okay.
back, buddy.
It's good to see you too, Fenrith. And
Someone
I'll
want to
weep
tie a rope
softly.
around
Already
him?
my trident when Graham's not looking, and if he fails this, I'll try.
I think I probably still have to find it though, right? So I'll have to take a 20.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll have to spend a minute. Yeah, it's right here. Is that what you guys say?
Yeah,
Make
it's right
sure
there,
you're
Graham.
not
not seeing it.
standing on any fake tiles.
Right. All right. So here is my disable device.
Okay.
Do we keep the highest of the two if we hero point?
I don't know. I don't know at which point I hero point a hidden skill roll.
Well, you just, you know,
How I'm feeling.
two of them out there.
Can I know after it fails? I guess that's how we know with the other rolls.
Yeah. You definitely feel like you might want to use a hero point.
Do I feel like I want to use the hero point to succeed, or do I feel like I want to use it to avoid triggering it?
Yes.
To both?
Yes.
Okay. I'll use a hero point. Where's it at?
All right. So you needed a what to disable it?
I think it's 25 plus the level of the spell, so
26.
26.
And how does that work?
Well, it's kind of hand wavy, you know, because I'm not
Right.
sure if I use the weird rogue's ability to interact with magic or
Okay.
If I know of some blind spot of the spell, and I like, well, if you lay wool over it, for some reason it doesn't work.
It says a creature, but if you cover yourself in a blanket, it doesn't know you're a
And
creature.
what was the margin for like how to determine if you fail or if you fail so badly that it goes off?
Back up.
Put your head in a box.
Oh, isn't it those like motion detectors where if you cover yourself in a blanket and move slow, they don't?
If I fail by
Yeah.
4 or less, I failed but can try again. If I fail by 5 or more, something goes wrong. If this device is a trap, you spring it.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I think I overestimated my odds. Now that I'm looking at I was looking at my move silently ability.
I'll wave my hand and just shake my head. I figured it.
Well, to be fair, Casimir, you didn't take a step back.
That is true, Graham.
I thought we were good.
All right. So those of you with detect magic on, you detect that. That aura suddenly disappears,
Huh?
as though he disabled it.
Does the mental alarm only sound in the heads of those who...
Yeah. Yeah, like what you know of the alarm spell, it can be set to either, or both. But yeah, it doesn't sound in just anybody's head.
Good job, Graham.
All right. Well done.
I did it? Yeah.
Of course I
meant
did.
to do that. I didn't use Luck of Heroes at all.
All right. So now that that's gone, I'm going to head over and look through that door across the way.
All right.
Slowly lower my trident from the base of Graham's neck.
The risk of failure was great. I didn't know, what is that Greek concept?
That wasn't it the sword of Damocles?
Yeah.
Which is like way older, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's from the Bible. Yeah. The hair that holds the sword.
All right. So, Rohan, you move up to that. You see that this hallway goes far to the right, and there's some stairs at the end. And this room you're looking into is just an empty alcove. There's no indication of what it might once have been used for.
Okay.
Except that you do see some rusted remains of fittings in the stone that might have once been for a door.
Okay. So I'll kind of wave Graham up next to me and then start creeping my way forward again.
Okay.
Move forward like 30 feet, then turn on my light for just a few seconds.
All right.
See if I notice any magical auras, and then turn it off again. Trying to keep an ear out for any movement ahead of us.
Okay. Yeah, so you just got that stairway up ahead.
Very true.
And you don't hear anything.
Okay. So I'll move up to the base of the stairway.
All right. So you move up to here, and Graham moves up next to you. And both of you do another listen in the tower.
Are we going to call it?
We might as well call it here.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to get into a fight.
Jeez, Brandon, just calm down.
In the game.
Play for 2 more hours. This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.